What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. Road to 300 subscribers, of course. And if you're looking at the title, just chill out. Like, let me explain. Like, if we are being real, like, did he save his legacy for real? For real? Because if look at a player like Kevin Durant's caliber, right? And if Kevin Durant never wins a ring, like, we would be on these talk shows talking shit, all these podcasts talking shit. Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant would undoubtedly be the best player to never win a ring if it wasn't for teaming up with Stephen Curry. And you could say the same thing for Stephen Curry, I guess, when you say LeBron came back down 3-1 against them. They were at an all-time low. Stephen Curry was crying in the locker room, supposedly, but at the same time, they still did go 73-9, and they had another chance to go back to the finals. And then adding Kevin Durant, obviously we know how unstoppable that team was. They was sitting on the warm-ups during games. They were chilling out, like they knew they were gonna win it. They knew they were gonna win. That's how overpowered that team was. Like, there was no team stopping them. And if we want to be honest, like, there's no team in NBA history that is better than those Kevin Durant teams. Let's keep it a buck. That was overpowered, bro. But when I say that, like, I'm not saying that Kevin Durant didn't have one of the best careers. He's all-time scorer, 2-time Finals MVP, and some say he was the best player on those Warriors teams. Like, and some say Stephen Curry was obviously on the best player on those teams. But who would you say was the most impactful team member on that team? Because you can't double both of them. If you're gonna double Steph, obviously KD, you let KD go play 1-on-1, and I think that's what they did some of the time because they didn't want Stephen Curry to take over the games. Like, that's what happened most of the time watching those games. Like, obviously I was younger, on the younger side, so I couldn't really understand basketball as I do now. But when you look back through the highlights, you look through some of those old games, like, you notice, how the fuck do you stop this? And then you got Clay running on the wing, you got to throw it out to Clay. Like, come on, bro. And as we see now, Kevin Durant, after leaving the Warriors, didn't really have the same over the top. He hasn't made the Western Conference Finals or the Eastern Conference Finals. When he was in Brooklyn, he didn't make any of those teams. And the last time he was obviously in the finals and obviously competing for an NBA championship, that was on the Golden State Warriors. But can you say that undoubtedly, like, if KD would have stayed on the Oklahoma City Thunder, can you ultimately say that him and Russ would have never won a ring? Scott Presti would have never got the right talent around them too? I just can't say that. Maybe because I was a big Thunder fan at the time. I'm still a huge Russell Westbrook fan. I wanted to see Russell Westbrook win a ring. I still want to see Russell Westbrook win a ring before he retires. But at the same time, you can't undoubtedly say that Stephen Curry did not play a part, or a huge part, or even save his legacy. That's what I'm trying to ultimately say, as you can see by the title. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my opinion. I know a lot of Dick Riders are probably just like most people don't even make it to the part of this video, but most people are just gonna be like, nah, KD was the best player on those teams. Like, he actually saved Stephen Curry's legacy, and I'm not gonna disagree with you, because at the end of the day, we all got our different opinions. Because in those teams, when KD first got there in the 2016-17 season, he averaged 25 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and that was coming off Oklahoma City team, obviously, where they made the Western Conference Finals, and they played against the Golden State Warriors, and they ultimately choked a 3-1 lead to that Golden State Warriors team that went 73-9. And it's funny that Golden State went to the finals and choked at 73-9, and then adds KD to. It's crazy. But in that season, 2016-17 season, Curry averaged 25 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. And Curry, ultimately, we see that Curry took a back seat because the season before, we know that was his unanimous MVP season, where he averaged 30 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. One of the best, or one of the best, or even if you want to say the best MVP season of all time. He's coming off that, and he took a back seat for, obviously, an MVP caliber player. People, you would say that's over him. At that moment, I don't know I don't remember the argument was who was better, Stephen Curry or KD, but obviously people made that argument when they were on the same team. But yeah, like, Stephen Curry did take a backseat for Kevin Durant. Like, I remember him saying that, and I remember some reports coming out that he decided to let KD be the best player on the team. And you can ultimately say that looking at his stats and looking at Curry stats and looking at KD stats, you can see that KD did take some more shot attempts. It's not a lot. They were all contributed to the shot attempts. The only person that didn't sacrifice shit was Clay, and that's funny. That's funny to me, bro. But in the 2017-2018 season, KD averaged 26.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. Again, this was the season where they went back-to-back, and they played against LeBron James by himself. Like, that's who they played against. At least in the 2016-17 season, Kyrie was there, but still got done in foul. And the season with LeBron by himself, like, he got swept. And in that season, Curry averaged 26.5 points per game. Yeah, in that season, Curry averaged 26.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. And I'm pretty sure in one of these seasons, like, it was a toss-up. Who do you want to get Finals MVP? Because I'm pretty sure Curry went off for one of these series. It was either, I think it was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. Like, they should have. I can't believe. Like, looking back at that era, like, it seems way longer than they played 3 seasons together. Like, he played more seasons on the Nets than he did. I mean, yeah, he played the same amount of seasons on the Nets and the Suns than he did in Golden State, which is that's crazy to me when I look at that, bro. And in the 2018-19 season, KD averaged 26 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 6 assists before obviously he tore his Achilles, and that was his last time in a Warriors jersey. And you can say that they would have came back down 3-1 against that team if KD and Clay never got hurt. They would have came back because they won that game when KD went down, and then there was on a path. Clay had 30 before he went down with the injury. So I don't know, bro. And in that season, in the 2018-2019 season, Curry averaged 27 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Obviously, Curry was by himself in those finals as soon as Clay and KD went down. And you can say, I don't think you can make the argument with that 2019 saying that Curry couldn't carry it by himself when KD went hurt. No, because he looked like he was going to do that before Clay went down. You have to at least get some type of offensive input from players around you, and Clay was the input. Once Clay went down, there was nobody else making any dent in the offensive end from that Golden State Warriors perspective against that Toronto Raptors team. I remember watching that game. Like, I watched that shit from start to finish. It was a good ass game. I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. But I don't know. Like, I feel like they should have won more than 2 rings. Like, maybe KD. Let me not say maybe. KD's legacy does pay out if he. It does look a little bit different if he doesn't leave in that 2019-2020 season. Like, imagine how many rings KD would have now, because we saw what 2020-2021 Steph and Curry looked like. He was back to that MVP form as soon as KD left. Obviously, they didn't make the playoffs because obviously he had no help. There was no Klay Thompson. There was just a young Jordan Poole who was getting his legs, and Draymond Green. And we saw what happened in 2022 when Stephen Curry returned to the finals. He put on a show, and he got his first finals MVP. So imagine how many rings KD would have, and imagine what the NBA would look like now if KD never decided to leave that Warriors team. Like, we would be looking at a whole different landscape of the NBA. That's why the butterfly effect is so bizarre to me, like, when you talk about it. But let me know, do y'all think that Curry saved KD's legacy, or is that just out of mind opinion that I have? Let me know down below. Subscribe. What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And the channel icon's right here on the right, and there's a video on the left. Click one of them holes if you didn't watch it already, and subscribe. Help the channel grow, and I appreciate you.